Tonight, a Poplarville preacher's son accused of impregnating a 13-year-old girl will not be released on bond. Investigative reporter Noah Noble was in court today and has the latest in what Pearl River County detectives call a very active investigation.
Jennifer, Dawson Brown was deemed a flight risk because investigators say he asked the pregnant teen's mom if she thinks he should flee the country. Now, a Justice Court judge upholding the bond denial, ensuring this alleged child rapist won't be leaving jail anytime soon.
Dawson Brown is charged with statutory rape, 2 counts of sexual battery, and human trafficking. His mom, Sabrina Brown, facing charges of conspiracy to tamper with evidence, attempted tampering with evidence, and felony child neglect. The pregnant teen's mother, Kendrell Bowden, was arrested Tuesday night, accused of felony human trafficking and contributing to the neglect of a child. Investigators say the Browns conspired with Bowden to cover up her daughter's pregnancy, offering the mother money and favors. And tonight, the investigation continues into rumors that the Browns church held a baby shower for the pregnant teen and whether more people will be charged.
Investigators say the teen is just a few weeks away from delivering her baby. And even though court documents say Dawson Brown admitted to the teen's mother that he's the baby's father, a DNA test will be done after the baby is born to determine paternity.